We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dankert.
Mayor Steen.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Present.
Councilmember Enright.
Present.
King.
Present.
Austin.
Present.
Jordahl.
Present.
Hagan.
Present.
Carolyn.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item 2 is a motion for approval of the council minutes of August 17th. We need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 3, are there any citizens, oh, wait a minute, we didn't adopt the agenda. Okay, item number 1 is a motion to adopt the agenda with the additions that we have. We need a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 3, are there any citizens present tonight that wish to address the council on items that are not on tonight's agenda? If it's on the agenda, you'll have a chance during the meeting. Okay. Then, under awards and recognitions, introduction of new police officer Dave Dyke. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. I'd like to introduce our newest officer, David Dyke. Comes to us from Fillmore County. He has 17 years of experience. He started last Monday, August 31st, and I think he'll bring a great attitude and a lot of respect to the Austin Police Department. So I would like just to welcome and introduce David Dyke as our newest police officer. Welcome.
Thank you.
He had defensive tactics training today, that's why he's dressed like that.
Welcome.
The clothes I did have set aside, I walked out of the house. I apologize.
First day and you're already undercover. Okay, thank you. 4B is Austin U14 Girls Fast Pitch Coach. Greg, did you?
Yep. Just have the coaches come forward.
State champion. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your team?
Thank you for an invitation of us coming into the council meeting. My name is Bobby Jo Richard.
I'm Galen Bird.
And I'm Paul Thompson.
We are the coaches of the 14U Austin Red softball team. We were lucky enough to win the Minnesota Sports Federation State Championship this year, which was hosted in Austin. So we had a nice hometown greeting. We play for the Southern Mini League, and our record this year for league record was 16-9-1. We have a wonderful bunch of girls who I will introduce to you. We are missing all but one. They all were very excited to come. To start out with, we have Addie Ross. Go ahead, stand up, Addie.
Stand up. Stand up.
Elijah Richard. Andrea Cecil, who is our one who did not come today. Avery Thompson. Coley Justice. Destiny Gray. Ellie Tupie. Emily Lau. Erica Lundberg. Jordan McCormick. Kylie Kusick. Lexi Smith. And McKenna Berg. These girls worked their hearts out this summer. Hope to do it again next.
Good job, girls. Okay, and then next is Austin Artworks Festival City Purchase Award. Jenny.
Hi, welcome. We want to present to you the City Award that was selected at this year's Austin Artworks Festival. It was done by an artist named Neil Johnson, who is from Hibbing, Minnesota, and it's called Cold Steam on the Vermilion.
Thank you. We want to thank the two judges. They worked so well together. Steve and Judy, you guys were great. And we were so pleased to have you come. And we want to thank the council for being a part of the Austin Artworks Festival. It just helps to make it even more fun. And I wanted to tell you that this year we added even more in the downtown. The first year, 4 years ago, when Belita and I knocked on every door, hardly anybody was going to be open on Saturday. They didn't know what was going on, and, not much happened downtown that first year. Next year, a little more happened. Last year, we did the We Are Austin pictures all the way from the utility building down Main Street. Many more people, and this year, wow, the downtown was hopping. In addition to everything going on at the utility building, lots of fun activities on Main Street. So it's just great for our community.
Bonnie, I think you started this award when you were mayor. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Oh, this tells you how old I am when you around here. Yeah, isn't it fun? For how many years? It's been many, many years, and you can see the pictures around council chambers.
These are all award pictures, all around the council.
Yeah, all, and they're here, and then now there's so many that you guys are putting them in different places in the city. But each year, it used to be an Austin artist of an Austin theme, but now it's grown so much that we have an artist from Hibbing with a scene from up north, which is really exciting. So it's a wonderful thing that the city does, and thank you so much for continuing it.
Okay.
I couldn't stop without saying a word. We had about 6,000 people this year over that week, so that's just amazing. We battled the wind a little bit. Some people lost some artwork, but we had a really good time, and we're ready for next year.
Thanks.
We all said we were going to say something, so, but what I wanted to just say was a little bit about Neil, the artist from Hibbing. It was his first time in Austin, and he has 7 children, and each festival he goes to, he brings a different child with him to help set up the festival. And this year we did something a little different. We unveiled the awards at the reception on Friday evening. So he was absolutely thrilled to be picked, and it was a great honor for him. So thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you, guys. You do a really good job with the festival. It's turned into one of our major events. It really is fun.
We'll set it here so you can say.
Okay. Thanks, Bonnie.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, and then finally, last week I went to the breakfast for the this is Morning Kiwanis. I don't have that proclamation here, but we're going to declare September 18th the Morning Kiwanis Day. This is their 40th anniversary on the 18th of September. And also I have a proclamation for the Forget-Me-Nots. Whereas the annual distribution of Forget-Me-Nots by the Disabled American Veterans of the United States has been officially recognized and endorsed by governmental leaders since 1920. And whereas Forget-Me-Nots are assembled by disabled veterans, and the proceeds of this worthy projects are used exclusively for the benefit of disabled and needy veterans. And whereas the best way to honor the dead is to assist those who have come home bearing the scars of war. Now therefore, I, Thomas A. Steen, Mayor of the City of Austin, Minnesota, do hereby proclaim Friday, September 18th, 2015 as Forget-Me-Not Day, and urge all patriotic citizens to wear a Forget-Me-Not as mute evidence of our gratitude to men and women of this country who have risked their lives in defense of the freedom which we continue to enjoy as American citizens. And I know there's some upstairs if you haven't. These aren't the regular red Forget-Me-Nots that people always see. They're purple, just kind of for the Purple Heart. So with that, number 5 is a motion for the consent agenda. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Number 6 is under public hearing is a resolution. It's public hearing on street improvements for sanitary, sewer, and water improvements on properties recently annexed into the city of Austin. And your name's here.
Yeah, as stated in the memo, these are properties that were recently annexed into the city. They were completed actually in 2014, and the annexation order didn't get signed until earlier this year. So we're moving forward with assessing these properties for deferred sewer or water projects that went by those properties. So the totals are listed on the second page there, and those owners would be assessed those amounts at 4.75%. And this is the improvement hearing. We also would have a final assessment hearing.
Okay. Council, do you have anything to add or comments? If not, this is a public hearing. Is anybody here tonight to address this issue to the council? Public hearing, so anybody can have a say on this if you live in the area or not. Okay, if there is nothing further, then we need a resolution ordering improvement and approving plans and specifications.
So move the resolution?
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. And number 7, under petitions and requests, is a resolution establishing a proposed tax levy and proposed budget for taxes payable in 2016 and setting the date for the Truth and Taxation hearing for December 8, 2015. Mr. Dankert.
Council is required by September 30th to set a proposed tax levy and budget for the following year. For 2016's collectible levy, Council is proposing that number to be at $4,900,000. In addition to that, the total proposed budgets are estimated at $29,896,201. We will be fine-tuning the budget numbers as we go towards our December 8th Truth and Taxation hearing date, which again we're proposing as December 8th at 6 o'clock. At the following work sessions, September 21st, the 2 in October, which are the 5th, the 19th, and then 2 in November, November 2nd, November 16th, we'll have a work session item to talk about any proposed budget changes council may want to discuss. The public certainly allowed to discuss or have comments at that time. Also, we request if the public has any comments on the budget that they send me an email or Craig Clark an email so we can get those addressed at council meetings also. At this point in time, that would be the proposed budget and tax levy for 2016. Please note, after September 30th, you cannot increase that tax levy. You can decrease it, but again, this is what will show up on the proposed truth and taxation statements that citizens will get at the end of November, early December. So our history has been what you propose is usually what council's adopted. We like to be pretty close to that so citizens know the impact to them. You can increase the budget, you just can't use tax levy dollars to do such.
So if we increase the budget, we have to find money from somewhere
Correct.
else. Okay. Council? If there's nothing from the council, we need a resolution for item number 7.
So moved.
the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 8 is a resolution setting final public assessment hearing for October 5th, 2015 for snow removal, weed removal, junk removal, forfeited property, and miscellaneous sidewalk project. Ms. Castle.
Yeah, I would like to speak to numbers 8 through 11 just all at the same time because they're pretty much related. I'm requesting that the public hearings be set for these matters, which is snow removal, junk, weed and grass mowing, sidewalk projects, forfeited property reassessments, unpaid utility bills, a final public hearing for the 8th Avenue and 8th Street Northeast sidewalk project, and then for the sanitary sewer project that we just had the assessment hearing on. So those are numbers 8 through 11, and if you didn't have any questions, we could set those hearings for October 5th.
Does council have any questions on 8 through 11? If not, we need a resolution for number 8.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 9 is a resolution setting a public hearing for October 5th, 2015 to certify unpaid Austin utility bills. We need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 10 is a resolution setting a final public assessment hearing for October 5th, 2015 for sidewalk improvement assessments on Project 1A11, 8th Avenue Northeast, 8th Street to CP Railroad, and 8th Street Northeast, 8th Avenue to 10th Avenue. We need a resolution.
So moved the resolution.
Is there a second? Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 11 is a resolution setting a final public assessment hearing for October 5th, 2015 for sanitary sewer and water improvements on properties recently annexed into the city of Austin. We need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 12 is a motion setting a public hearing for October 5th, 2015 to consider changes to the Austin City Charter. Ms. Castle?
Yes, this is another public hearing for October 5th, and this was the matter of the job description changes in the charter. The Charter Commission met on August 31st and recommended that those changes be made. So this would be setting the final hearing for that matter, which would be to October 5th. And if you recall, those were when the job changes descriptions would come out of the charter and then be set by ordinance or resolution.
Council, anything? If there is nothing, we need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 13 is a motion appointing Adam Polchinski to the Human Rights Commission term expiring December 31st, 2016. Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 14 is a resolution approving an agreement for sidewalk repairs with Christy Beckman, 809 8th Street Northwest. Stephen?
Our program for sidewalk replacement in residential areas is based on reports, and in this case, we had a report of bad sidewalk at this address. When we went out and marked it, turned out to be a large quantity of sidewalk, and therefore the property owner had requested that this cost be put on their taxes. So on the attached agreement, which the property owner has already signed, it's an agreement that was developed to allow this to occur, and item number 3 really details some of the specifics of the agreement, whereas $2,100 would be assessed to the property based on the city's assessment policy, and it would be levied in November of 2015 for the year levied, first to show up in spring of 2016 on their taxes, and our current sidewalk policy is that would be spread out over 10 years with interest.
Council, anything? If not, we need a resolution for 14.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
15 is a resolution approving the extension of a repayment agreement with GNR Truck Wash. Tom?
Before you is an agreement that expired, a promissory note that expired with GNR Truck Wash for some unpaid strong waste charges at their facility over on the east side of town. They originally had a 2-year agreement with a balloon payment that would have been due August 1st of this year. They've made all their payments as scheduled on that note, plus all the new strong waste charges. So we've worked with them to create a new 1-year promissory note under the same terms that were on the expiring one, so they can keep paying the monthly charge, and then at the end of this year, we'll evaluate again whether or not the balloon payment should come due or if they ask us to extend it further.
Council? If there's nothing further, we need a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 16 is a resolution approving a change order for fire station improvements. Chief?
Mayor, Council, with the removal of one of the windows at the station, I was realized that the gray tinted glass was overlooked in the specifications. We'd like to put gray tinted glass back in the station with the replacement of the new windows. The cost is $1,992, and I would recommend approval of this change order.
Council? We need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert?
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 17 is a resolution approving a rural fire association agreement. Chief?
Met several times with the Austin Fire Association to come up with an agreement for the next 3 years. The current agreement expires at the end of this year. We'd like to renew for 2016, 17, and 18 for $135,000 each year to provide fire protection for Austin and Lansing townships.
Council, we need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 18 is a motion authorizing the Fall Yard Waste Program scheduled for September 19, 2015 to November 22nd. Stephen.
Yeah, it's that time of year again. The leaves will be falling soon, so we are identifying this site to be the Cook Farm as we have in the past for disposal of leaves from residential properties. Site is available, as you indicated, September 19th through November 22nd, 7 days a week from dawn until dusk. The site will accept leaves, grass, and plants from gardens. Compost from the previous year, if there is some available, that will be available to the public. And but again, just to note, we do not accept branches, and then we will have cans available for disposal of your plastic bags as well, to make sure people are emptying out their leaves out of their plastic bags. So this, as part of this, the county will also do advertising for this project, getting the word out through the shopper and other advertising sources. Funding this project comes to our Austin transfer station and the budget that we have associated there. So if you have any other questions, we would recommend getting started with this program.
Council? We do this every year, right?
Correct.
Okay. We need a resolution or motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 19 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with State of Minnesota to participate in the eCourt Minnesota system. Great.
Mayor, members, the state of Minnesota is modifying its eCourt Minnesota system to further allow for a paperless format. Our current attorneys who represent us on criminal prosecutions would have more avenues to access information electronically. As a result of that, we need to approve a master services agreement provided by the state and included as Exhibit 1. Council action is requested to approve the resolution included in the packet for the master services agreement and authorize the administrator to sign it on behalf of the city.
Okay. Council? If there's nothing further, we need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 20 is a motion approving sale of city property. Mr. Lang?
Requesting the sale of 3 vehicles that have been replaced with the purchase of new vehicles through our CIP. We shuffle vehicles around, make sure that we're getting rid of our highest use or highest maintenance vehicles, and in this case, we have identified 3 vehicles to get rid of.
Council? We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 21 is a resolution approving a consulting agreement for design services on the 3rd Avenue Plaza. Stephen?
City staff, along with the Vision 2020 Downtown Group, as well as folks from Hormel Foods, have been working on a plaza area that is located just south of the entrance to the new Spam Museum. With our 3rd Avenue reconstruction project, there's going to be some open space available there. And we, working with those folks, wanted to spruce up this area a little bit more than just the standard exposed aggregate sidewalk. So working through this process, we have developed a landscaping plan for this area as shown on the 2nd page of your handout. One thing to note from that is just a schematic at this point. We will propose that we will work out a lot of the fine-tuned details as part of it, along with the plantings and the trees. I know that trees in the downtown area are a concern to many people, so we want to make sure that if trees are planted, that we choose the proper trees. But as part of this process, the city has received a grant from the Hormel Foundation to fund this project in the amount of $224,295. And the first step in the process would be working with a landscape architect, and in this case, Confluence Architecture, landscape architecture company, has worked to develop some of these renderings, and we would recommend extending a proposal for the design services as detailed there in your handout in the amount of $20,550 to Confluence. They would then develop plans and specifications to allow us to bid this project through a public bidding process. Part of the work we would look to complete yet this fall, with most likely many of the plantings occurring in the spring. So this would be the first step in developing this project, and again, this work or this contract with Confluence that we're recommending would be paid for through that Hormel Foundation grant.
So what we're looking at in the picture is the south-facing side of the new Spam Museum?
That would be correct, southwest corner.
All right, Council, anything?
I was just curious, well, now, we also looked at a plan at some point that had some tables and some kind of space like that. Is that related to this project at all, or was that someplace else?
Things that are identified as part of this would be kind of a seating bench. You can see around this landscaping area, there's also going to be some open spaces that would involve some tables.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so that would be included with this as well.
So that was the same
Yes,
general area.
I believe so.
Okay, anything else? If not, we need a resolution for 21.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at-Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 22 is a resolution approving the Red Bike Program. Craig?
Mayor, members, the Vision 2020 Bike Friendly Committee has been discussing the idea of a free bike share program called Red Bike. The program would provide free bikes that would be located throughout the town and allow users to utilize the bikes and return them to their originating bike rack. This would encourage people to consider biking and making it accessible to anyone for the first time to learn and exercise and use multimodal transportation. Part of the idea is that we'd have the stations located in some cases on private property, and in that regard, I've talked with Attorney Hoverston, and he suggested Exhibit 1 for your consideration that would allow an agreement between the city and the property owner to allow the bikes to be, and racks to be placed in signage on private property, and we need this agreement because the bikes and the racks would be public equipment, so we'd need this agreement in place with the various property owners that have expressed interest in participating and partnering with the city on this project, so council action is requested to approve the agreement included as Exhibit 1.
Council? We need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at-Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
23, accepting a SHIP grant for the Red Bike Program. Craig, or Stephen?
Yes, as Mr. Clark just described, the project details, in this case, to fund some of these, the purchase of this equipment. About a couple pages back in your handout, there is a detailed budget which identifies bike racks, space for 4 bikes, signage, bicycles, and the cost of those things. They also have identified sponsors, and to fill in any missing pieces, we have received a SHIP grant, and I'd like to correct, in your memo it indicates the SHIP grant for $6,470, but in actuality the SHIP grant is maxed at $5,000. So we're proposing to council tonight to we're recommending a SHIP grant in the amount of $5,000 to go toward the purchase of this equipment for the Red Bike program, and any cost shortages would be made up with additional site sponsors. Mr. Clark is working with additional site sponsors to fill in any of those gaps. So with that, we would recommend approval of the $5,000 SHIP grant.
Okay, anything, council? If not, we need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 24, declaring the property located at 301 3rd Street Southeast a hazardous property. We need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember Enright.
Aye.
King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. And finally, 25 is a motion granting the Planning and Zoning Department the power to remove junk and/or illegally stored vehicles at 2120 First Avenue Southeast, Red City property. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And finally, we are to reports and recommendations. Let's start with Jeremy.
Nothing, Your Honor.
David?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Judy? Or Janet?
I'd just like to welcome the National Barrow Show to Austin. I think I read that it was the 69th annual. So that's an important event every year in Austin. Are you ready to? I'm done.
Okay. Jeff?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing, Your Honor. Judy?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Greg?
Yes, we got notice, I guess midweek last week that Minnesota House of Representatives Committee on Capital Investment will be coming to Austin on Thursday. We have the Ramsey Dam enhancements and the 4th Avenue Portage and Waterway Dam project here. We're going to show the legislators what we submitted last legislative session in regards to projects in Austin. The Soil and Water Conservation District has a site east of town that they'll be taking them to, and we'll be passing by the flood wall as well as Hormel Institute and pointing those out as the bus tour goes through town. And so we're thankful they're coming to Austin to look at what's important to our community.
Okay, any reports?
Yes, Chief Krieger has one, and Ann Hokinson.
Mayor and City Council, I'd just like to remind you that the Austin Police Department is holding a Citizens Academy. This is a 6-week-long program, 2.5 hours, starting a week from tonight, from 6 till 8:30 p.m. We currently have 8 citizens signed up for this program. We are hoping to get at least a dozen, so if there's anybody you know that may be interested or committing to 6 weeks to learn about the Austin Police Department, our daily activities, what we do as officers, and see some of our equipment and go through some of our training, would be welcome to apply. Thank you.
This would be every Tuesday at 6:30 then for 6 weeks?
For 6 weeks, starting the 20th, or I'm sorry, the 15th of September, 6 consecutive Tuesdays from 6 till 8:30, 2.5 hours.
How do they sign up for it?
We have applications at the police station, and I believe also on the city's webpage, you can get an application downloaded and apply.
Okay.
Brian, is there an age, like do you have to be like 18? or
21 and older.
21 and older. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ann?
Yes, we have 2 things to announce for the public library. The Friends of the Public Library sale is coming up in October, and so the sale is actually October 8th through the 10th. Donations can be dropped off at the library starting September 26th, so coming up soon. And I'm very pleased to announce that TEDx Horace Park, it will be held in this very room. It will be in the City Council chambers. On Saturday, October 17th, doors will open at 1:30, and the program will be from 2 until about 5 o'clock. And we'll have a variety of speakers bringing interesting ideas to the town. And that is a ticketed event. Tickets are available at the Austin Area Commission for the Arts website or at the public library, and it's limited to only 100 participants, so you should get your tickets fast.
Good. Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, that's it. Then we need a motion to adjourn. There will be no work session tonight. First time since I've been mayor, we haven't had a work session. We must be doing something. Okay, we need a motion to adjourn till September 21st.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And